Hello, dear friends. Hello, welcome to another Spiritist magazine program here at Kardec Radio. It is always an honor and a pleasure to be with you. And tonight we're going to talk about 20 exercises for inner reform. Hello. If you're joining me, either live or on demand, feel our love, feel our kindness towards you, and we are here. Hello, Chris. It's always a pleasure to have you here. We're going to be live on Facebook, on YouTube. I have here my Instagram going as well, and we're going to be on the Spiritist Magazine page and the YouTube page, both of Kardec Radio and the Spiritist Magazine. And before we start our studies of the article today, I would like to invite you for a prayer. And then the recommendation is also that you also have a little bit of water with you, either on a bottle like this or on your reusable bottle, so that we can ask the good spirits to magnetize the water with us. It looks like all systems are working. So I think we're ready to start. And if you are here with me, please write any comments or questions. I'm able to see that you're live. We're using a multi-streaming software, so unfortunately I can't see who you are, but that's okay. If you are brave enough to say your name, I will acknowledge you. Right, Chris is with me, so is Nora. It's always a pleasure to be with you. So shall we pray? Close your eyes if you're able to do so, if it's safe to do so, and repeat the words of the prayer mentally. Mine or anywhere you are, if someone is praying, just repeat what they say. We need to collectively pray and broadcast it with more intensity out to the universe, shall we? Dear Mother, Father God, tonight we thank you for the opportunity of being together, for the blessings of this physical existence, and for all of the help that we receive from visible and invisible companions. We feel their love and their kindness towards us. Tonight we pray that we are able to open our hearts and deepen our understanding of your teachings and of your laws. We thank the mentors of Kardec Radio, the Spiritist Magazine, and all of our own mentors for guiding us on this path. We dedicate our studies to all of those who suffer on the earth. May your messengers of light, dear Lord, travel all throughout the earth, soothing the hearts of those who suffer, bringing consolation to those who are in need, helping all of those who are performing your good works of spreading the good news, encouraging all of us, letting us know that we are resilient and that we are going to work together and that we are strong to withstand any of the difficulties in our lives. Tonight we pray, dear Lord, that you guide us, that you protect us, and with your permission, we start our studies today. And so be it. Dear friends, thank you so very much for joining me here. And if you're live with me, hello, Sinara, how are you? And if you're live here with me, please write your comments, your questions. And if I'm able to, I'll answer. If I'm not, I will go look for the answer for us and then we can learn together. But the most important thing is that we're taking this time to deepen our understanding and knowledge of what we are. So today is just you and I and the iPad. As I told you last time, we are able to download all of the issues of the Spiritist magazine in our devices. As you can see, if you go to the spiritistmagazine.org, you're able to obtain the PDF format of the magazine. And if you go to your app store, you can download the app. And once you download the app, you can scroll through all of the issues of the magazine. And today we're going to study, and I'm going to demonstrate. I like doing this so that you can see that it's really easy. I've already downloaded, so I'm going to choose this one, which is issue 44. And from issue 44, you can just easily peruse through the magazine. Sorry, there's a little, and then how beautiful it is. And you can just read it from it. So I'm going to find the article. And the article is called 20 Exercise for Inner Transformation by the Spirit Scheilla through the medium Chico Xavier. Look how beautiful it is. And then you can just zoom in, very easy. We have our devices everywhere. It also works on your phone. I'm using my phone to broadcast, so I'm not able to do that. So let's have this good news everywhere we go. So shall we? Scheilla says to us, this message is titled 20 Exercise for Inner Reform and was published in the book Ideal Espírita, which will be translated by Spiritist Ideals. 20 exercise number 1, joyfully fulfill our obligations. I'm going to read it all and then I'm going to come back with some comments. 2, be silent in the face of offense. 3, forget the favor done by you. 4, exempt friend from doing any kind acts for you. 5, silence your aggressiveness. 6, do not condemn opinions that are different from ours. 7, abolish any malicious or unnecessary questions. 8, repeat information and teachings without any bitterness. 9, train your patience constantly. That was 9. Train your patience constantly. 10, listen fraternally to your fellow sorrows without interjecting with your own pain. 11, seek without pretension the best way to be useful. 12, forgive without excusing yourself. 13, do not speak bad about anyone. 14, seek the best in all people that share their experiences with you. 15, rejoice with the happiness of others. 16, do not bother he who is working. 17, help spontaneously. 18, respect the service of others. 19, reduce your private problems. 20, serve with goodwill when sickness visits you. And she finishes, the apprentice in the terrestrial existence who wants and can apply themselves to at least some of the exercises here proposed certainly will receive from the Divine Master the most distinct notes in the course of charity in the school of life. Isn't that beautiful? The good spirits are always there, just as Kardec Raider nourishing our souls. And then, if I see some of you have joined me, thank you very much for all the love that you're sending towards me. And I see some of you live on Facebook, on YouTube. Welcome. And if you're watching this on demand as well, please feel our love and kindness. We are a big family learning together. Right? And if we haven't met before, I should have said my name is Sheyne Martin. I broadcast to you from Richmond, Virginia. So let's go back to the beginning. And I wrote down some notes here for us. She starts, joyfully fulfill your obligation. So how many times today you had to undergo and have to perform certain duties, certain obligations? Have we fulfilled them joyfully? Because sometimes it's hard. We get into going about our days, doing the things we have to do. And some of our obligations don't feel as joyful. However, she's saying joyfully fulfill our obligations. Number 2, be silent in the face of offenses. So this is really a Christian thing. So if someone offends you, or if you feel offended by something or something they did or something they said, so her recommendation is be silent, because here we have silence as a means of charity. We don't have to engage with people. And this is not coming from me. This is coming from the book Jesus in the Home. So if you read the book Jesus in the Home, you're going to notice that Jesus' body language is exactly this. He never engaged, he never fought with anybody, he never looked to fight with anybody. And he most definitely, as a Christ spirit, didn't feel offended by anything that anyone did to him because he knows ourselves more than we do. So he sees us as the governor of the planet who participated in the formation of the planet. He sees you and I as the future pure spirits as we are destined to be, and there's no reason for him to be offended by the ignorance or the ignorant acts that we perform, right? He says, forget the favor done by you. How many times we do a favor to someone and then we unconsciously or consciously expect them to thank us, to praise us? So she's saying, she didn't say don't do the favor. She says, forget the favor you do done by you. So do the good, serve others without expecting them to in anything in return. Do the good just because it's the right thing to do, because it feels good to do the good, and then let it go. Don't keep accounts of the good. Let God do its take account of our fulfillment of our duties each and every day. So let's not expect recompense for it, which is difficult, right? Because we are used to having praise. We are used to this society where we have likes, dislikes, we have comments. So we tend to want that instant gratification. Just do the good. That's the minimum we can do. If you can go to bed with your conscience clear, you've done the good. This one I like a lot, 5 and 6, because it really applies to our daily lives more than anything. Silence your aggressiveness. So Scheilla knows that we are still have some times where aggression is part of ourselves. We are still imperfect spirits, perfectible. So whatever we find that we're lacking, we can work on. And 6, do not condemn opinions that are different from ours. Because nowadays with social media, it's so easy to judge someone not knowing their circumstances. It's very easy to anonymously write a comment or gossip about someone because you're not putting your face into it. You're not going to someone and actually trying to understand what went through their heads when they did something or when they said something. We never know what's going through people's lives. They don't know what's going on in our lives, and we don't want to be judged, so we don't want to be condemned. So she says, do not condemn the opinions that are different from ours. Everybody is entitled to their free will, to their own agency, and to their own ideas. When we shouldn't condemn them or judge them, we really need to try to understand and be kind towards them, because that's what we would expect. We would like someone to do that for us. Right, friends? Let me know if you still can hear me and I'm still live. Just let me know. It looks like everything is running. How many times do we go by our days without knowing what's going on, and we fall into the trap of judgment, right? So we really need to work on seeing everybody as a child of God. Everybody's growing, everybody's getting better each and every day. You're better today than you were yesterday, than you were 10 years ago. And you're destined to be much better in many, many years to come. So it's just a daily exercise. She says here, abolish any malicious or unnecessary questions. How many times we meet someone or we call a friend, and then out of curiosity, we start asking them questions and putting ourselves into their lives? Or if they share something with us that is, um, it's in their hearts and minds and it's bothering them. So sometimes, thank you, Nora. So sometimes we feel the urge to keep asking and probing. And she says here, abolish those unnecessary questions. Because sometimes when someone overshares with you, they may feel remorse. They may not feel so good for sharing something that was private. So let people share what they're ready to share. And it also ties well with, if you read the series of Andre Luis, especially in No Solar, when he's first describing to us his experience in the spiritual realm, where he was going through the trainings, right, and serving, and Narcisa, the nurse, was telling him, hey, stop, and the mentors was saying, tame your curiosity, don't ask people unnecessary questions. And how many times sometimes we feel compelled, we want to connect with people, we want to be together, and then we start asking and asking. Or if people start probing on our conversations, on our lives, take a deep breath. It's okay. Like said, be silent. It's okay to take a deep breath and to think before acting instead of reacting. It's okay to take a moment and say, do I really want this person to know what is going on with me? Should I keep it to myself? Is it something that I'm upset about, that it might hurt someone in the future? So she says it's very important to not ask unnecessary questions. Train your patient. That's number 9. Train your patient constantly. So patience is a virtue. If you go to the Gospel according to Spiritism, there's a beautiful chapter on patience, anger, peacemaking skills. And be patient is an exercise, especially if you're starting at an older age. So if you and I, for example, I've been acquainted with Spiritists since 2010 when I was in Baltimore. And, nobody ever pretty much told me to be patient or taught me to be patient, because people may tell you to be patient, or you may grow up listening, be patient, wait, but you're not taught how to. Patience, just as all the other virtues, is something that we exercise. It's like a muscle. So every day you have an option to be reactive or to take a step back and think before acting, and you can train your patience. Patience with people when they don't fulfill our expectations, patience when I'm expecting someone to do something and it doesn't happen the way I want, and I try to understand. I try to modulate my response. I try to modulate my questions and the way I speak, and then I can train patience. Number 10, listen fraternally to our fellow sorrows without interjecting with your own pain. That is, it comes down to deep listening, because sometimes we are hearing what people are saying, we are in a conversation, but then we're not really listening to them, because we are preparing in our minds what we're going to say next, what is my next argument, or we're interjecting our own pain on them. We are saying, yeah, you think it's bad for you. That time, 10 years ago, I went through something. So you're like dismissing the person's experience and trying to bring it back to yourself. And then now you're sharing something that may trigger pain, or you just might be going around always sharing the difficult times in your life. So this is something important. Listening today in the times of the pandemic, being silent, not condemning other people's actions, because we are all doing the best we can today with the resources we have that are abundant from the Lord to us. And then you are doing the best you can, I'm doing the best I can, so on and so forth. So there's no reason for us to condemn one another, to be aggressive, to take offense. We really need to try to listen. There's a lot of suffering out there that is not visible. And then if we take the time to listen to people deeply, you can just say, instead of thinking about all the time that something happened to me that was similar or remotely similar, instead of saying, I know what you feel, because you probably do not know how that person feel, you can say, tell me more. Tell me more. How was that like for you? And then if they're willing to share, you can listen more. You can listen more. There's no need for you to interject with your own pain. So think about, if you ever had therapy, the therapist, imagine if you went to a therapist or a physician and they start talking back about their own experience. So picture yourself as a therapist, as someone who's out there to help people, someone who's out there to listen deeply without interjecting their sorrow. So when they say, nod, smile, ask more questions, not unnecessary questions, but if you pray mentally for a person, the mentors may use your voice to soothe the sorrows of someone. So the mentors may inspire you to say the right thing, but it takes a mindful act. It takes us taking our minds off of our own little problems and then being of service and being willing. And each and every day, if you do a little bit, you become more mindful and more aware. You'll be able to serve more. The good spirits are out there waiting by our side, just waiting for us to have that opening so they can tap into our resources. Another one, 13, do not speak bad about anyone. That is difficult. Sometimes you're like, what would Jesus do? Did Jesus ever speak about anybody? Of course not. And he's our guide and our model. It's not just for us to go to Spiritist lectures and blab it out, or someone ask you about Spiritism and you proudly tell them you're Christian because Jesus is our guide and model. We really need to read the Bible. We need to understand the context where things were said. We need to read books like Good News and Jesus in the Home. Both studies available in Kardec Radio, by the way. And then you can see the body language of Jesus and see how he appeased the disciples, how he dealt with them. And the disciples were just like you and I, people with difficulties, work, jobs, family. And we want to make sure that we are not speaking bad about anybody. Even if we're not voicing it, we need to not think bad about anybody, even if they are incurring in error, because just like in the parable of the adulterous wife, none of us is free of sin. So there's no need for us to judge and talk bad about people when we have our own glass ceilings, right? I like this one a lot. Seek the best in all people that share their experiences with you and rejoice with the happiness of others. So when you see someone, regardless, start today. When you watch a little good program on TV, or you're watching Kardec Radio Instagram or YouTube or other Spiritist centers content, see the good. Visualize that person is speaking to you as already a pure spirit, already Jesus-like. And then visualize the good, visualize their good qualities, because we all have good and not so good inside of us and things we have to work on. Imagine if people only focus on what we lack. We need to seek the good inside of people. You have the gene of divinity inside of yourself. God created you with a specific mission. I discussed this morning in the study of the book Rumo Certo in the morning at 8 a.m. on Tuesdays at Kardec Radio. And God put you in the universe for a specific reason. You have the seeds of goodness inside of yourself. You need to let it blossom. And then you can let it blossom by training this visualization of goodness in yourself and in others. Everybody who is around, visualize them. They've been a child once, they've been a cute baby, and then they grow and they have experiences, and they may not make the same choices that you and I make, but we need to respect those opinions as long as they're not hurting anybody else, right? But physically hurting. But then we visualize goodness in everybody. Next time you go to the grocery store, visualize the spirits giving inspiration to the cashiers where they're interacting with the public and maybe afraid of getting COVID, or the people who restock the shelves we don't see, the people who drive buses, if you use public transportation, the teachers, the physicians, the nurses. There's so much goodness in the world. Visualize these higher spirits descending upon your workplace, in the houses of your co-workers if you're all zooming together in a meeting. So seek the good in them. When they make a mistake, you visualize them as doing it right next time. And then you say, hey, I noticed this needs some work, but I also bring something that is inside of you that is already good, right? He says, help spontaneously. And that is a good one too. Do we wait to be asked for help, or do we walk around in the world with an attitude of service? Do I go to some, I used to give this example when I talked about helping others, and going to a spiritist center, which we can't do unfortunately at the moment, But one day, God willing, we'll be able to. But right now, we should stay home and we should wear a mask and we should wash our hands. But until then, visualize next time you go somewhere, even if it's at your home, do you sit around waiting for the dishes to load themselves in the dishwasher, or your partner to ask, or your mom to ask? Or do you go around the world trying to serve others instead of being served? Help spontaneously. Do not wait. Seek the opportunity to help. Seek the opportunity to be of service. Because even science nowadays recognize that serving others, doing volunteer work, reaching out and getting out of our own little world is helpful for our health, mental and physical health. So seek those opportunities of service, because if God allowed you to go somewhere to do something, it's because you have within you the goodness that it takes for that process to flourish and to blossom. And 20 is serve with goodwill when sickness visits you. So even if you were to get sick, she says here, serve with goodwill, serve all of those who are around you. Because she says, even if we try to apply, she says, who wants and who can apply themselves to these exercises will certainly receive from the master distinct notes in the course of charity in the school of life. Right? Even if you're not feeling as, if discouragement comes upon you, don't feel discouraged. Acknowledge the discouraged and seek opportunities of service to others, and the good spirits will come and give you inspiration and encouragement to continue, because we are here together, nourishing our souls, learning more, and then serving others. And one way you can serve others is by helping everybody to get to know of beautiful teachings like this one. So you came here because you know Kardec Radio nourishes your souls. Share, like, subscribe, follow, to make sure that the content becomes relevant and is suggested to more people. The good needs to be courageous. We need to be in the team of the good. We need to wear our uniforms that say, I am good, I want to be good. Because the folks who are not yet aligned with the works of the Christ are out there putting crappy, bad content all over the internet. So we know this, we know of good works. We need to share, because maybe the good spirits will use us as a like, as a share in our page, and then someone we know who may be suffering might be perusing your profile, and they will see the good messages, the good inspirations. Nowadays, there's a lot of Spirit Society pages you can follow, channels you can follow, and everybody is putting a lot of good content out there. So we need to share. And we need to reach out to those who we know who may be suffering, and to those who don't look like they're suffering, but they could use a good word and a good deed. All right, dear friends, you're still here with me. That's wonderful. It's always a pleasure and an honor to be with you. And as a final activity, have your water bottle with you. I usually drink mine, and I hope the spirits magnetize it as it goes. Just because we're talking a lot, have it with you. Next time we're together, or you're watching one of these programs, next time you are doing the gospel at home at your own house, have the water next to you, filtered water, spring water. Have a bottle for family members if you're able to give one, and then the spirits can help us physically and spiritually. So I'm going to invite you for a final prayer, a prayer of gratitude, right? So we feel connected and we can feel the good vibrations coming from the spirits, because after all, we are eternally indebted to the good spirits that have helped us get where we are, that have brought us all these teachings, that have helped the mediums fulfill their mission, such as Chico, Xavier, and others, and that have inspired the collection of articles in the Spiritist magazine. Have it with you. download the app or the PDFs and read them, have it, and show it to folks because those are beautiful contents. This book, the majority of these teachings are not published in English yet. So it's really a once in a life opportunity to learn while we incarnated, and then also help share the good news. The more we know, more resources we have in our brains for the spirits to allow us to get that content out when we need to share with someone who may be suffering. So it's always an honor and a pleasure to be here with you for our final prayer. As always, the recommendation is the same. Close your eyes if it's safe to do so, and repeat the words of the prayer mentally. Shall we? Dear Mother, Father God, we thank you for everything that you give us, all of the blessings, all of the beautiful things that are all around us. We thank you for all the opportunities we have to serve one another. We are grateful for all the help that we receive from our companions in this reincarnation and from the invisible companions in the spiritual realm. We thank you, dear God, for the beauty of our planet Earth, for all of its contents, for the multitude of animals and the diversity of plants, and all of the elements of the mineral kingdoms. We thank you, dear Lord, for this blessed planet that receives us today. Dear God, we thank you for everything. We thank you for this reincarnation. We thank you for our family members and friends, and for our virtual communities here at Kardec Radio. We thank you that we are able to be here tonight together, sharing the good news of our Master. We thank the mentors of all of us. We thank the mediums who brought us these teachings and the good spirits that have inspired us to be here today together studying. Dear God, we ask you for your protection. We ask you that from the higher realms where the superior spirits meet and help guide our evolution, may they send their love and kindness toward us each and every day. May showers of healing light and love and kindness be showered upon ourselves. May we feel the soothing vibrations that are present all around us. May your divine providence be felt by all of humankind, all of humanity on the earth, in both realms of life, and all of the humanity all around the universe. We are interweaved in a chain of love and kindness, and we are nourished by your loving presence. Dear Lord, may you bless our family members, our friends, all of those who we don't know that make our lives easier today. Dear God, we ask you for your protection, and we ask you for your inspiration to apply the teachings we receive today to our daily lives. May we be of service to you, fulfilling your will for us in this lifetime, and with your guidance, with your protection, and with your permission, we end our studies today. And so be it. Dear friends, thank you so very much. It's always an honor and a pleasure to be here with you. And I hope to see you again next week. We broadcast live at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time here at Kardec Radio, at the Spiritist Magazine, at the Spirit Society of Richmond. Nora, thank you so much. For all of you who are alive, who I can't see, for your love and kindness, thank you for being with me today. And I see Chris and Sinatra here. Thank you for being here, and thank you for the honor of your time and dedication. And until next time, many, many blessings.